Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Peter Barber. I'm a professional singer and music producer, and I just checked out BAEKHYUN's Pineapple Slice. What an absolute jam. The harmonies, the lead vocals, this amazing driving kick and snare pattern, the cool synthy bass line. So much fun. My first experience watching and listening to BAEKHYUN as a solo artist. I've of course done videos for EXO and some other features he's been on, but this is my first time just watching him do his thing. Great singer, great dancer. Guys, I hope you enjoy my reaction and musical analysis to Pineapple Slice. Enjoy.
Tell me the taste ain't good to you. You know the taste is real. There's never a better love. 자연스레 건네. What's your name?
Ooh.
흔들린 듯한 너의 시선이. Don't look at me like I'm basic. 향기롭고 특별해. I just said it, let's up boy in a fairy tale.
Oh, the angelic vocals of BAEKHYUN. This is so fun to be back with him. I actually have not done a video for his solo music. I've done videos for EXO, which he was the 9th member of it, joined back in 2012. And I've done I did a video for his feature in Paranoia that came out of the League of Legends universe, and I love that music. So this is really cool to see him in his solo environment. The angelic vocals, it's fantastic. My first thought when this song started was The Weeknd. That song by The Weeknd popped in my head. It sounds very much like The Weeknd's production value, which is absolutely, I think he's the most streamed artist in the world right now. It's like he and Taylor Swift and Kanye, they like duke it out for the top spot. Like 100 million monthly listeners on Spotify or something absurd. So super high production value. Let's go back and just talk a little bit about what's going on here. I think we're in A minor, maybe? A minor, yep. So in this first section, we basically get like, it's almost like new disco. It's like a new version of 80s synth. It sounds very synth wavy. We got all these atmospheric synths. We got these really nice plucked, more melodic synths that we hear that really are highlighting kind of the moving melody above the chords. We of course have like a nice low synth bass in there, and we have all these distorted atmospheric vocals kind of swimming around the audio space.
Tell me the taste ain't good to you. You know the taste is real. There's never a better love. 자연스레 건네. What's your name? 흔들린 듯한 너의 시선이. Don't look at me like I'm basic. 향기롭고 특별해. I just said it, let's up boy in a fairy tale.
So that's all the way up to an A4, a tenor high A, of course in a lighter mechanism. Now we know BAEKHYUN can stretch his voice up there in a full chest voice, getting that yelly, belty quality, but we don't get that yet. He's starting it in a much more intimate place, right? Which is a great place to start a song vocally. It gives you a long place to go. It gives you a place to build towards, and really kind of take us on a journey, both with the storytelling, with the lyrics, and with just how the song builds verse to verse to verse, usually climaxing in the final chorus when we're going to have all the instruments, all the voices, all the harmonies, high belting is what I'm guessing. That's usually how it goes. But we get it. Just he's approaching it with these nice, soft, breathy vocals, but also they're nice and rhythmic. So we're getting a nice percussive aspect to the singing here as well.
Don't look at me like I'm basic. 향기롭고 특별해. I just said it, let's up boy in a fairy tale. 선명한 색을 봤어 like bouquet. 이대로 내게 보내는 초대. 설레게 또 설레게 driving you insane. 온몸에 퍼져가 나의 모든 걸 준 다음에 넌 벗어날 수 없게 돼 babe
It's just so smooth. The delivery, even when it's percussive and rhythmic, he still keeps it really smooth and flowing nicely. And the production value, like the audio engineers on this music is really what blows me away as a music producer, in addition to the vocals. It is just so crisp. Every single instrument has its perfect place in the mix. The drums are punchy. They're not interrupting anything. We've got all these atmospheric instrumentation happening while we get the voice super crystal clear. That's like essential for pop music, for K-pop music as well, but all kinds of pop music. The vocal's always the main priority. So you always want to have a crystal clear, airy, bright vocal right in the middle of the mix. So we hear that super clearly. I'm glad the captions are nailing it right here. He's going back and forth, I believe, between Korean and English, but the captions are putting it all in English for your boy, which is of course helpful. Now, in these videos, if you guys aren't familiar, it's a lot of musical analysis. It's especially a lot of vocal and audio engineering stuff. The music video is going to be world class, but I'm probably not going to comment much on it. In addition to the lyrics, I'm sure it's great songwriting, but really I'm focusing on the voice, the vocal technique, and the audio engineering. So just so you guys know what you're in for. That nice little flip up into falsetto. And then that one little note, he flips up into that lighter registration, allows a little more air to come through the sound just for a split second, but you can really tell by the color change. And now again, that's a note he could sing full chest voice, but given his approach to the song, it makes a lot of sense for him to do a little flip there, right? Show a little acrobatics vocally and save the belting in that high register for later in the song. You see, he's doing it all the time, actually. He's going between that chest register and that falsetto register quite often throughout this first verse. Back and forth. Yeah. Okay, I will comment a little bit on I always point this out with K-pop artists, is that they are like they're so good at singing and they're so good at dancing. All of them. So like you'll see these K-pop groups like EXO or like a BTS or whoever that you'll hear these amazing vocals, this amazing audio production quality, and then they're doing like really complicated, difficult choreography in addition. Now, of course, this is a music video, so they'll sing the vocals in the studio so it sounds perfect. Then they'll shoot the video, lip sync everything. But from what I've seen from live performances too, they also are just fantastic at doing the singing and the dancing at the same time. The singing will, of course, take a little bit of a hit. It's pretty much impossible to sing perfectly while your body's moving. That's just how the voice and the body interact. But the BAEKHYUN and the other K-pop groups and artists are phenomenal at that. I'm going to go back to this pre-chorus here. This is a cool thing that you do often hear in K-pop, where there's like a pretty driving kick snare pattern for the verses, and then the pre-choruses, they'll take the percussion out and leave the atmospheric stuff. So then when it comes back in during the chorus, it's more impactful, right? We get all those elements happening at once. We get like the bigger vocals, we get more instrumentation, we get the drums coming back in hardcore, and it presents a nice contrast going from section to section. So right, the percussion actually doesn't go out completely here, but it goes into a more atmospheric, reverby, kind of underwater kick snare pattern, and almost like a halftime. We had, and then in the pre-chorus it was like, so we get like a halftime as well before going back into that driving beat in the chorus. 2, 3, 4. We get a just, I'm not going to go back because it'll happen again in the next chorus, but you got to pay attention to that buzzy, funky bass line. Oh, it's so nice. And of course, I'm always going to hear the bass because that's where my voice sits. That's what I'm always paying attention to, but pay attention to that bass line. It slaps. Nice. So we get a flat 6 there. What is that? A E flat? Wait. What is that? Yeah, it is an A flat. Okay. Yeah. That's an E flat? Meant A flat. Yeah, we get a nice A flat there, which is just like a nice, interesting note thrown in that you wouldn't expect in this particular key. Some cool things happening in this second verse. My favorite aspect is that kind of at the end of each phrase, a lot of the instrumentation cuts out and then comes back in. So we get kind of like a breath. We get like a pausa before the beat comes back in. We didn't get that in the first verse. It was all kind of driving forward. Now the second verse, he'll sing for a bit and everything's driving, then it cuts out for a second and then boom, and it comes back in. Again, contrast, something different from the first verse, something to kind of keep engaging our interest, right? It's like audience capture, but done via a really cool musical tool. Yeah. That's nice. Nice. All right, similar vibe in this pre-chorus. So that's all the way up to an E5 above tenor high C, of course, in that light falsetto mechanism. He's not stretching his voice way up there. He's intentionally flipping for that lighter, breathier singing before we get back into this chorus. Oh. Hey. Those pitch toms, drum fills coming in right at the end of that chorus. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I was noticing a little bit about, I am obviously watching the video. My brain is just more geared towards the music, but I love in that section, this section of the music video, they have people, they're playing it in reverse essentially, right? You have people falling down, but they're like artistically falling to the ground, but they're playing in reverse. So they're actually like standing up. That's cool. That's a nice touch. I think it's during this chorus. Yeah, look at that. That's nice.
지워 네 맘속 다 나는 남는 건 네 never tastes the same It's just a different thing babe You stay calling me extra sweet calling me extra sweet Come get it dark 발 앞에서 스매일
It's so good. So, all right. So here we clearly have a bridge section, right? Which has a very similar vibe to these pre-choruses where a lot of the driving nature of the song comes out and it's more vocal focused. It's more atmospheric. Because we don't have a drive, we tend to, we pay attention to what's there, right? It's like if you close your eyes, you tend to hear better because your other senses kind of peak. If you take out the drums, you're going to be paying more attention really to the fewer elements that are there. That's actually what's so captivating about if you hear just like a solo voice and nothing else, then you're so entranced by the voice because it's the only thing happening. I think it's me and some fellow collaborators have been doing a lot of these stairwell covers where we'll get together in a really nice reverby acoustic stairwell. We'll make up an arrangement on the spot. We'll practice it for 30 minutes to an hour, and then we'll do a bunch of takes and get a good take. And they perform incredibly well on the socials. Like pretty much every time we post, it gets, 1 million to 10 million views on a social platform, which is insane and amazing. And I think part of it is because hearing just voices in a cool acoustic environment plays into what I was just talking about, where it's like, okay, you're just paying attention to the voices. And it's really, really captivating that way. All to say we get a similar effect here where there's fewer elements, so you pay attention more to what is actually there. Just a cool music video. Yeah, so all the way up to tenor high C, chest connected, I believe here. He's really stretching the voice up now, as we're kind of, you'd expect going into the climax of this song, revving up the intensity vocally and otherwise as well. But we haven't heard him go this high in his chest connection yet. So you really hear him stretching up into that belt range. Yeah. All the way up to tenor high D, maybe still chest connected, maybe some kind of chest dominant mix, but either way, that's a more intense vocal sound than we've gotten up to this point in the song. And right there, last thing before we get this drop back into the final chorus is we get this really cool, almost like robotic sounding harmony. Obviously, multi-tracked with BAEKHYUN's voice. And that's something we haven't heard before. The harmony's done in that way. And then boom, right back into this final chorus. So we get maybe our biggest contrast yet, going from this bridge section back into the final chorus section will no doubt be the most climactic part of the song.
It's just a different thing, babe. You stay calling me extra sweet, calling me extra sweet. Come get it.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah, so what we get here, right, is what I was saying earlier, is there's higher vocals happening. There are actually more harmonies happening in the background, more like riffing by BAEKHYUN, more just kind of interjections that aren't the lead melody. And we get more movement in the instruments, like the bass line's going a little bit crazier. Some of those more melodic synths are going a little bit crazier, right? Because we're in the climax of the song when everything's happening. It's like all the pieces we've heard so far in the song are now happening simultaneously in this final chorus. Big drum fill. We got a big like field in the air tonight. Kind of drum fill right there going into the latter half of this final chorus. Yeah. dude. Ah. And then a solo voice for a really captivating ending. We've got all this action, and this little tiny short kind of outro section is just BAEKHYUN's voice on its own with a bunch of reverb and cool atmosphere. Put through kind of like a telephone filter where it's not supposed to sound like a perfectly natural voice. The lower frequencies are taken out, and I think some of the higher frequencies are taken out too, which is like a telephone filter you can put on a sound. Makes it sound like it's coming through a telephone. Hell yeah. All right. Yeah, buddy. First BAEKHYUN experience. Incredible. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, if I enhanced your BAEKHYUN experience on Pineapple Slice, if you learned a little bit about his voice or audio engineering, definitely consider joining my cause, joining my Patreon community. That's the best way to support me. And you can also throw me a few dollars on Buy Me a Coffee as well if you'd like to make a one-time contribution to the channel. Sweet, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And I'll see you in the next BAEKHYUN video. Peace.